The Great Plains. Sunrise. A thin fog drifts over the horizon. For a moment it's quiet. Then the ground begins to shake. Hooves. Thousands of them. Dust explodes into the air. Riders appear in the haze, longbows raised, spears flashing, banners snapping in the wind. This isn't 1206, it's today. The Mongol Empire has returned, and their target is the United States of America. 8 centuries ago, the Mongols erupted out of Central Asia and carved the largest continuous land empire in history. They crushed armies 10 times their size. They outmaneuvered knights, crushed Chinese dynasties, and forced Europe into terror. But here's the question. Could those same warriors, horse archers, siege masters, ruthless commanders, survive against the most powerful military on Earth? Would America crush them instantly, or would the Mongols adapt, the way they always did, and carve fear into the modern world? Let's find out. They arrive with shock and speed. 100,000 cavalry, tens of thousands of archers, siege engineers, scouts riding miles ahead, and camps that fold and move before sunrise, faster than most armies can even chase. Instead of rolling across the Silk Road, they come through Alaska and western Canada. They sweep south, crossing forests, rivers, and plains with terrifying efficiency. The U.S. border wasn't built to stop this. Not endless columns of horsemen moving like water across the land. And they don't strike New York or Los Angeles first. That's not the Mongol way. They aim for the soft underbelly. Small towns, isolated farms, local police outposts. One night, a quiet Canadian highway is empty. By dawn, it's blocked by burning wreckage. Villages wake to war cries, arrows raining from the dark. A sheriff's department deploys a handful of vehicles and disappears without a trace. Highways are blocked. Bridges collapse. Supply trucks vanish into smoke. What little resistance they meet is crushed instantly. It's the same nightmare that once swept across Eurasia, now unleashed across North America. And the Mongols fight the way they always have: lightning raids that last minutes, not hours. Feigned retreats, drawing defenders into traps. Psychological terror, leaving survivors only to spread fear ahead of them. For civilians, it feels impossible. Ancient warriors on horseback appear from nowhere, destroy everything, then vanish before help can even be called. And just like in the 13th century, the real weapon isn't the bow or the sword. It's fear. Fear that spreads faster than any army. But this isn't medieval Europe. This is the United States. Army bases snap to life. Sirens blare in the night. Convoys of armored vehicles roll onto highways. Abrams tanks grind into position, their turrets scanning open plains. Apache helicopters lift off, rotors beating through the dawn air, streaking low across farmland. And overhead, Reaper drones circle silently, invisible death waiting for the order to strike. In orbit, satellites realign. Every thermal plume, every dust cloud, every rider's movement is tracked in real time. For the first time in history, the Mongols face an enemy that can watch them from space. Within days, the first strikes begin. Hellfire missiles scream down from drones. Explosions ripple across the plains. Entire Mongol units vanish in blasts of fire and smoke. Horsemen scatter in panic. Camps erupt in flames. Supply wagons splinter into dust. But the Mongols don't break. They scatter, then regroup. Just as they did against knights, Persians, and Chinese dynasties centuries ago. Their strength has never been fortresses or fixed supply lines. It's speed, flexibility, ruthless adaptation. One column may be destroyed, but another is already striking elsewhere. A convoy of U.S. fuel trucks disappears on a lonely highway. A small National Guard post is swarmed in the night. Every time U.S. forces smash a Mongol band, another slips away to raid somewhere else. And so the pattern begins. The U.S. has unmatched technology, precision, satellites, firepower beyond imagination, but the Mongols have speed, instinct, the ability to strike anywhere, vanish everywhere, and turn fear itself into a weapon. For the first time in centuries, modern soldiers face a kind of chaos they've only read about in history books, the same chaos that once shattered Europe. History repeats itself. The Mongols adapt, fast. They ambush fuel convoys. They burn crops and farms. They strike at communication hubs and power lines. Every small victory spreads panic. Captured rifles and vehicles appear in their hands. Horse-drawn, carts are mounted with machine guns. Grenades are strapped to saddles. It looks ridiculous, but it works. Remember, the Mongols always turned enemy technology into their own. gunpowder from the Chinese, siege towers from the Persians, engineers from every nation they conquered. Why would today be different? Soon, U.S. outposts report raids at night. Horses stampede through bases. Supply depots burn. Ammunition dumps explode. The Mongols can't match U.S. firepower, but they don't need to. Their weapon is fear, and fear spreads faster than missiles. Washington answers with overwhelming force. The order goes out. No restraint. The U.S. military unleashes everything short of nuclear fire. F-22 Raptors slice through the skies at supersonic speed, invisible to radar, dropping precision-guided bombs that erase entire formations in seconds. At night, AC-130 gunships orbit silently overhead. Their cannons light up the darkness, stitching Mongol encampments with walls of fire until nothing is left but smoldering earth. From hundreds of miles away, HIMARS launchers unleash salvos of rockets, each strike guided by satellites, each impact devastatingly precise. The Great Plains, once the Mongols' greatest advantage, betray them. In the 13th century, wide open land was their battlefield, their kingdom. Now, it is a killing field. There is no escape from drones circling day and night, no hiding from satellites that see through clouds, trees, even darkness itself. Mongol horses collapse under shockwaves. Entire herds scatter into panic. Camps are shredded before dawn by explosions they never even see coming. Every movement larger than a few dozen riders is tracked, targeted, and annihilated, and yet, still, they don't break. The Mongols fight on. They torch farms to starve the land. They block roads with burning wreckage. They strike isolated convoys, leaving nothing but ash and abandoned vehicles behind. They don't fight to hold ground. They fight to bleed their enemy, just as they once bled European knights, Chinese emperors, and Persian kings. Their empire is no longer measured in territory. It is measured in fear. And even under the crushing weight of modern firepower, they cling to the one weapon they've never lost: terror. Here's the duel. Mongol edge. Mobility, deception, and ruthless psychological warfare. They don't need to win battles. They just need to terrify. U.S. edge. Technology, logistics, satellites, and overwhelming firepower. Every strike is precise. Every loss can be replaced. The Mongols try feigned retreats. They lure American armor into choke points. They unleash night raids on small bases, but the U.S. answers with drone swarms and mechanized infantry. It's chaos, but it's controlled chaos. The Mongols thrive on unpredictability. The U.S. thrives on control. Which side bends first? Best case for the Mongols. They carve chaos across the Great Plains. Highways shut down, convoys ambushed, small towns abandoned. For weeks, America feels the same terror that Europe once knew. Likely case. Technology overwhelms them. Drones, jets, artillery grind them down. Without factories, without fuel, without resupply, the Mongols collapse within months. Nightmare case for the U.S. If the Mongols seize enough weapons, if they learn to use drones, or worse, if their raids trigger widespread unrest, the war drags on for years. Not a Mongol victory, but chaos. Billions lost. A scar left on the world's most powerful nation. So, could the Mongols conquer the United States today? Probably not. But could they leave a scar on America's history? Absolutely. They'd remind the world why medieval Europe once called them the scourge of God. And that raises the next question. If the Mongols can't break the modern world, what about Rome? What if the United States had to face the Roman Empire at its peak? That's a battle for another time. If you'd like a video on this topic, drop a comment below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. See you in the next one.